Namo Phat, good morning. Thank you for joining me for a daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This beautiful sound calls us back to our true home. The fifth mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful consumption, I vow to cultivate good health, both physical and mental, for myself, my family, and my society by practicing mindful eating, drinking, and consuming. I will ingest only items that preserve peace, well-being, and joy in my body, in my consciousness, and in the collective body and consciousness of my family and society. I am determined not to use alcohol or any other items that contain toxins, such as certain TV programs, magazines, books, films, and conversations. I am aware that to damage my body or my consciousness with these poisons is to betray my ancestors, my parents, my society, and future generations. I will work to transform violence, fear, anger, and confusion in myself and in society by practicing a diet for myself and for society. I understand that a proper diet is crucial for self-transformation and the transformation of society. For our Dharma lessons, we're reading Ajahn Thiradhammo's book, Working with the Five Hindrances. This morning, we're finishing a section on dealing with drowsiness and meditation. When you return to sitting meditation and drowsiness has still not gone, the sixth method, maybe not quite so easy, is to develop the perception of light. There are some meditation exercises dealing with creating light in the mind so that the night is as light as day. I wouldn't recommend this, though, because it is hard to put the light out. One monk I knew in Thailand was on a long intensive retreat and had a problem with sleepiness. His teacher told him about this meditation of developing light, and he developed it so that there was light in his mind continuously. He could close his eyes, and the light was always on, but then he couldn't go to sleep. He told his teacher about this new problem and was advised, well, now you have to learn how to put the light out. So for the next couple of days, he had to sit there, close his eyes, and put the light out. Then he was able to sleep again. An easier and safer method is to open your eyes when you feel sleepy. Then you can open them just enough to allow in enough light to counter drowsiness without looking around or focusing on any object. Try blinking vigorously for a few minutes or do some eye stretching. If sleepiness still does not subside, the seventh suggestion is to get up and do walking meditation with faculties contained and mind collected. This can physically generate more energy. Your eyes are open and you need to be more attentive. It's much harder to doze off when you're walking, but it can happen. Be careful. There are also a few ways to modify this. One can adjust the speed of the walk and the length of the path. For some people, vigorous walking can be invigorating, while for others, it is exhausting. To increase alertness, some people benefit from a short walking path, which means they must often stop and turn. Other people find a short path disturbing, as they are not able to reach a comfortable rhythm for concentration. It can also be useful to experiment, alternating the speed, taking very long steps, walking backwards, walking on a narrow or darkened path, walking beside a body of water or the sea, walking up and down a hill, etc. Whatever helps reduce drowsiness. And finally, if all else fails, the eighth method is to lie down on your right side, intending to wake up as soon as you are conscious again. Have a rest, but don't oversleep, and get up as soon as you awaken. Perhaps you are tired because the body is physically exhausted. Maybe the mind is exhausted. Then you need to rest. Everyone needs to find out for themselves how much sleep they need. Someone once asked Ajahn Chah, "How long should I sleep?" References in the scriptures indicate that the Buddha slept only 4 hours a night, so some teachers take that quite literally. And on some retreats, you take a vow to sleep only 4 hours. Ajahn Chah answered, "I don't know what you need. Find out for yourself. You are the best judge of knowing how much sleep you need. Some people may use lots of physical energy and perhaps need more rest. Others may have an active mind and need more mental rest. Rather than struggle with 4 hours sleep for the rest of your life, it's more important to know your own mind. Even if you sleep 10 hours a night, at least you know. And as you bring that knowing quality into your mind, the mind becomes clearer, and you may find out that you need less sleep. Your mind is becoming clearer through your own knowing about yourself. This is different from seeking the answer from outside yourself." It may be helpful to add here a ninth method, which some of the Thai forest teachers use to deal with drowsiness. This is a rather extreme method which I personally would not recommend, as it could result in injury or even death. However, maybe some people might wish to try a modified version of it. The method was to sit on the edge of a cliff or a large rock, so that anyone who nodded seriously would be very likely to fall over the edge. Of course, we only have reports from those who were successful with this method. The theory is that one can get an extra charge of energy from the survival instinct to chase drowsiness away. Another, safer version of this was to sit on the very unstable raised platform so that any nodding tipped you off for a rude awakening. Perhaps a modern version would be to sit on the edge of a chair or a slightly raised platform, or beside a pool or pond of cold water, somewhere where you will not suffer injury, just to test whether this method has any effect for you or not. For some people, perhaps doing sitting meditation in the open air, where there's a lot more stimulation through temperature changes, wind, insects, and noises, may be a source of generating some further degree of wakefulness. This is one of the standard methods mentioned in the commentaries on the Pali Canon. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you for joining me today.